There are many ways to participate in activism. Some people make art. Some people write. Some people protest. And some people use social media. In the digital age, social media is a necessary tool for social movements. The nature of this type of content is often questioned, particularly its effectiveness and place among more contemporary forms of activism. What is not often heard is the voices of the young activists themselves and what they think. As a student of Skidmore College who is not particularly involved in social media, I was interested in the experiences and opinions of my peers. As activism increasingly shifts to exist in digital spaces, the question arises: what motivates young activists to use social media as a platform for their voice?
The one thing that I think is really, really cool is how fast things happen on Instagram. Like, a Skidmore student is in need, you post something once and then it gets reposted like 10 times in the span of like an hour, and then all of a sudden like everyone on campus knows about it, and then that person is getting like the help that they need.
Instagram is where I'm most often on posting. I don't actually post myself that much, but I do like to amplify because I think I've seen the influences and the possibilities that occur on Instagram and the opportunity to expand beyond your just inner circle of friends, and I think if I have the opportunity, why not take it?
You know, we're in college, we read enough for classes, and if you hand someone an article and are like, here, educate yourself about that, 9 times out of 10, people are not gonna read it. But if you're scrolling through your phone for entertainment and you see a post that breaks down something that's super important in a very small and easy, quick way to read, you might learn something because you might actually engage with it.
The culture surrounding Instagram stories, I think, is fascinating, because I think when people are posting pictures on their sort of grid, like real permanent pictures, it tends to be a lot more like, look at my friends and look at my meal and look at my vacation. But Instagram stories are where I see a lot of particularly student activism.
Instagram is home to a wide range of activist content. Information on current or ongoing issues, petitions, protest times, are all circulated in the social media sphere.
Personally, I will post educationally, and it's more of like to make my followers aware of what's going on and let them know that the protests are still happening and injustices still exist. And I do think that social media activism is a good way of educating people, just because we're on social media 24/7 and we look up to so many people on social media. Like when I'll see like Lizzo post an activism post, I know that there's a bunch of people who are seeing that, who are just seeing oppression for the first time. And so, especially on a big scale, I think that it is educational.
One person really caring about something can be powerful, but 2 people caring about it and trying to do something about it is more powerful. And as the numbers grow, it becomes more and more powerful, and it gets more and more attention.
The ways in which I see social media being positive in terms of activism is when it gives like actual action items, like it gives people things to actually do. Actually, this morning I was talking to my friend who does not use social media at all, and she was talking about how there's a protest downtown today. She was talking about how she didn't know about that protest. And I was like, oh yes, that's because you don't have social media. And so I think in a way it can be really, really helpful because it spreads resources.
But if you see 20 people right in a row all saying, I'm going to this thing and you should too, then suddenly it's like, oh, everyone I know is going. Maybe I should too, and maybe it's the right thing to do, or at the very least I'll see people. I've been in isolation for 9 weeks.
Staying silent is easy, being quiet is easy, but reposting is also really, really easy. It's not hard to take the time to read a post, see where it came from, is it reputable, does it make sense, does it resonate with myself, and then think if it checks all those boxes, then why not repost? It's not hard for me to do that sort of thing, and it's not hard for others.
A lot of the times when I'm posting, like I will go on my stories and like 5 people in a row will be posting about like this same topic that like I was about to post about as well. But I've noticed sometimes like that's where I feel like the performative aspect comes from, because especially at Skidmore, I've noticed like a lot of Skidmore students, they'll notice everyone posting about the same topic and they're like, oh shit, like I need to post about this too so I can look like I'm politically informed and I'm woke or whatever.
Fake allyship, or like performative allyship, you can tell when it's performative because they will post the same things that everybody else is posting. A lot of the time they don't, like they'll sandwich it, they'll do like a news story post and then like activism, and then, oh my God, look how hot I am, or like, come see our baseball game.
I follow everyone on Instagram. I see all your stories. I see the posts that you share where you're very, Black Lives Matter, and here's how to be anti-racist, but you aren't practicing it in this room.
When everyone you know is sharing the same thing, that just means you've built an echo chamber, when it's not something actionable.
For me, it's really finding people that I resonate with and finding people that have similar experiences to me, but also at the same time wildly different, because I think if we surround ourselves too closely with individuals who are saying the exact same thing as us, we're stuck in this little bubble, this echo chamber.
You just have to find a way to get your information out of the circle that you're a part of. And another way of doing that is being a part of multiple circles. Friends of friends, mutuals friends. But you really have to push to get that information out. It's not like you'll post it and then everybody will repost it around you.
Honestly, like what drives me to keep engaging with the conversation is just out of necessity. Especially, being a mixed Black person, I have a lot of privilege. I feel like it is my place to deal with a lot of the harm that's being caused, because I know that other members of the community have to deal with it a lot more face to face. So I just kind of try to like cover all the bases, even though I don't like to do it, but I need to do it, because I know that the only way that all of us as a community are going to be liberated is if the people who are harmed the most are liberated. So it's like my job to engage in it for the rest of my people.
If we were to change one person's mind, one singular person that follows me, then that could, in the future, change other people's lives. And so that's why I think I've kept doing it, despite the burnout, despite the emotional trauma that it causes. I think if I could change the mind of one of my hometown friends or one Skidmore student, then that made a difference. And I think social media is a good way to do that.
I want people to know that I am an ally. Just like as a person, I want people to know that I'm there for them. And so I may post something that implies that I'm like there, and I'm like active about like educating myself about this social issue.
I believe that in my activism thing, if I'm not raising awareness, and then hopefully it has like this ripple effect of raising more awareness and people can like step in and stop this, and I don't know why I'm doing it, I want a long-term solution, not a short-term 20-year solution. I want like 100-year, 150-year solution, Unfortunately, I didn't come into Skidmore wanting to be a political advocate, but I now have a younger sister who's here. And I remember speaking to my parents before we came in the spring, asking, is it gonna be safe for you and your sister on campus? Are you going to be okay? And I think on some level, it was about COVID, are the precautions gonna be enough? Is the testing frequent enough? But on another level, it was them understanding that Asian American attacks were up across the United States, that more and more people were being attacked simply because of how they looked. In that moment, I said, yes, of course, like quickly back in my head, just like, yeah, why not? We're gonna be safe, we're gonna be fine. But I didn't stop to think about it until we actually got to campus and I started seeing the violence and the racism myself. And unfortunately, that was a wake-up call for me. And I think I'm a little bit late to the game, but I'm doing my best to be in it, and I'm trying to celebrate the fact that I've gotten here eventually. And I think that's what ultimately matters the most. And so largely what's driven me in activism this year is for my sister, is for making Skidmore a safer community and place for people who look like myself and who look like my sister and who come after us as well. You know, it's not just about changing Skidmore for the now, but for the future.